Imagine waking up before sunrise, not because of an alarm clock, but because the fire has gone out. The house is freezing, and every hour of daylight determines whether your family eats or goes hungry. No electricity, no running water, no grocery stores, no medicine you could trust. This wasn't an adventure. It was simply another ordinary day in early America. The version of history most people know is filled with famous names and dramatic events, but the real story is something much more surprising. The everyday lives of ordinary people who built a new world through constant work, resilience, and sacrifice. To modernize, life in early America seems impossibly difficult. Yet for the people living it, hardship was normal. From the moment the sun rose, every family member had responsibilities. Children worked alongside adults, meals required hours of preparation, and even simple tasks, like getting a drink of water or washing clothes, could consume much of the day. Survival wasn't about comfort, it was about preparation. One bad harvest, one harsh winter, or one illness could change everything. As communities slowly grew, neighbors depended on one another in ways that are difficult to imagine today. Barns were raised together, harvests were shared, and skills were passed from one generation to the next. Daily life demanded patience, teamwork, and knowledge that most people no longer need. The biggest surprise is that people weren't working from dawn until dusk because they wanted more wealth. They were working simply to stay alive. Bread wasn't picked up from a store. It began as grain planted months earlier. Clothing wasn't ordered online. It was spun, woven, and sewn by hand. Even light after sunset came only from candles that someone had spent hours making. Nearly every object inside a home represented days or even weeks of labor. Modern conveniences have hidden just how much effort everyday life once required. A single mistake, spoiled food, a broken tool, or an unexpected illness could threaten an entire family's future. Most early Americans lived in small wooden homes with few rooms. Heating came from a fireplace that also served as the kitchen. Water had to be carried by hand from wells or nearby streams. There were no refrigerators, so families preserved food by drying, salting, smoking, or pickling it to survive the winter. Children learned practical skills early. Boys often helped with farming, hunting, or woodworking, while girls commonly learned cooking, sewing, and household management. Although roles varied by family and region, everyone contributed to daily survival. Travel was slow and often dangerous. Roads were rough, horses were valuable, and long journeys could take days. News traveled just as slowly, meaning many people knew little about events happening only a few hundred miles away. Medical care was limited. Doctors were scarce in many areas, and families relied heavily on home remedies, herbal treatments, and experience passed down through generations. Common illnesses that are easily treated today could become life-threatening. Despite these hardships, communities celebrated together through church gatherings, seasonal festivals, markets, and family events. These moments offered relief from the relentless demands of everyday work and strengthened social bonds. Perhaps the most remarkable part of early American life wasn't how difficult it was how ordinary people adapted. They developed skills, shared knowledge, and built communities capable of surviving in an uncertain world. Their resilience laid the foundation for future generations, even though most of their names were never recorded in history books. The next time you flip a light switch, turn on a faucet, or buy food without a second thought, remember that these simple actions would have seemed almost miraculous to an ordinary family in early America. History isn't only shaped by famous leaders or great events. It's also written by millions of ordinary people whose quiet determination transformed hardship into a way of life and ultimately into the nation that followed.